Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Writer's Block Podcast. All right. I am your host, Bobby Brown Jr. Once again, we back at the Comedy Zone. Shout out to the Home Club, the best comedy club inside a hotel in the world, here in the Ramada Inn in Jacksonville, Florida. I got a special guest in the building real quick, all the way from Cleveland, right? Cleveland. All right. My man's here at the Comedy Zone featuring with Benji Brown. We got my man B Titty in the building, man.
Thanks for having me, man. Glad to be here.
What's going on, B Titty? How are you?
I'm good, man.
Okay.
Loving the weather, stuff like that.
Here in Florida?
Yeah, came from Cleveland. It was about 40 degrees and snowing. So I got off the plane overdressed.
Yeah. Okay, off rip, my audience is wondering in the head. B Titty. You gotta tell me what's the name. Okay, is this a family name? Titty's the name?
So when I was younger, when I was born with a birth defect. And,
okay.
I had to be like, I couldn't take like regular baby food. I would like throw it up. And
wow.
I had to be breastfed till I was like 5 years old.
Okay.
So
is that an embarrassing age?
Yeah. It's
okay.
like after probably like three, after like 3, you're done. And then my mom, she would joke, like she have men company come over and they be trying to like mess with her and stuff. She'd be like, these B titties. And so
okay.
No, I'm talking like, I had you going for a minute. He like, damn man, I heard of that birth defect before.
I'm like, wait, what? I didn't even I was trying to
gonna let me rock with it too. Okay, them B titties.
You threw your mom in the story. I was like, I obviously cannot call this nigga out.
No. My name Brian Titwell. So my full name is Brian Titwell. Growing up in school, elementary kids flip your name.
Brian Titwell.
Everybody called me Tittywell in school, in elementary. And then me and my cousin went to school together. They used to call us left titty, right titty. Just just hazing.
Okay, that makes sense. I went to high school with this dude named Alan Tutwiler. Yeah. Well, obviously we said Titwiler.
Yeah,
he's a cool dude though.
Yeah, so
good friend of him.
Everybody just once I turned like 16, everybody called me Titty. So if you grew up with me that's my name, Titty.
Wow,
so
that's kind of a cool nickname. Though. Like there are kids who have worse nicknames. You kind of got a good one.
So after that, I was just when I started doing videos first, I was like, you know what, I need to think of something. I started calling my stuff the Adventures of B Titty. So then it just stuck. Yep.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got B Titty in the building here in Jacksonville, Florida, man. Yeah. All right. Interesting way of how things happen. I want to say definitely over a year ago, man. I did an interview here with Rob Ward. Okay. And that was one of my earlier interviews here. Like I was shooting those interviews on the front screen of an iPad. Okay. Back where Rob was still
a camera now.
Yeah, man. Moving on up, you know. And Rob is from Cleveland, so he told me about you. Yeah. Literally, in the podcast episode that we did together, he said that you were his best friend.
Yeah, that's my brother.
This is what he told me about. So it's reciprocated. Okay.
Yeah, that's my brother, man. Me and Rob, we went to high school together. Didn't really know each other in high school. But we graduated 2004 high school. Wow. I didn't meet Rob until 2011.
Okay.
So I started doing comedy in 2011, and I went to an open mic that he was at. And that was the first place I performed. He was hosting the open mic. He was only a year. At that time, he was calling himself the Prince of Comedy, doing Cleveland's Prince of Comedy, only doing comedy a year. Yeah. Me being naive, just seeing somebody on a flyer, I thought he made it. I'm like, I got to meet this dude. He on a flyer.
Maybe I need to try that here. Yeah. Maybe that's how I can get a little clout.
Anybody that's not in the game, when you see somebody on a flyer, when you're naive to certain things, you think they made it. He on the flyer.
Wow.
I'm like, I got to meet this dude.
Okay. So how did that show go? Did you do good on that show? Was your first one?
Yeah, I walked in and I remember walking in. Rob was managed by a dude that I grew up with. So that's how I got on the show. I reached out to him. And I walk in and Rob like, yep, you going first and you got 3 minutes. I'm like, shit.
Oh, wait, you were first up.
I was first up. My first time ever on stage. You're like, you going first, you got 3 minutes.
So you hadn't even seen, you haven't even seen, you saw it on TV. You haven't even seen it in real life yet at this point, or you were the first one?
That was my, a week before that, I had went to open mic. That was my first time experiencing live comedy.
Okay, so you attended one before.
Yeah, I had went to open mic for the first time. That was a week before. That was my first time seeing live comedy. So now at this point, I've been watching it on TV and grew up studying stand-up. Okay. But like seeing it live, it was open mic. And I remember I went in the bathroom. I was playing Eminem, Lose Yourself in my headphones.
that was your get hype song?
Like, all right. I see them do this in the movie. This shit gotta work. Right?
I can't knock it. Eminem was my first favorite rapper.
Yeah. I'm like, all right, let's get it. And then I went up and, looking back, it was bullshit. But at that moment, for the level I was at, I did what I was supposed to do. I ended up doing like 8 minutes. Like, he was like, if you're doing good, I'll let you keep going. So I ended up doing like 8 minutes.
Did you have jokes written already, or you came?
No, I had it written. So I was. That's the one thing that still to this day, I'm very organized with my material. So I had wrote it out already. I had practiced it already. So I was like, if anything, I already knew with public speaking, when there's awkward silence, it makes you lose your train of thought. So the one thing I want to do is I can't not talk. Yeah. So even if they're not laughing, I'm gonna say this shit exactly how I wrote it.
Yeah, okay.
So I knew it. So even when the joke didn't get a laugh, I was on to the next joke. It never was an awkward feeling for me. Yeah.
I think that's what it's about with like the first time earlier. You want to get, we usually thinking, okay, let me make sure I'm right. Yeah, and then like the crowd is almost secondary in that phase. Like, I guess the
most comics think about the crowd when they first start, because you thinking it's funny to me, so it's going to be funny to them. But you don't understand delivery. You don't understand setup, punchlines, nothing. So when a lot of comics, when they first perform, they be like, yeah, man. And I told her, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. And then nobody be like saying nothing.
Nothing. And you like, y'all crazy.
Yeah. I've seen people go,
y'all in a relationship?
That ain't work. Let me hit y'all with some fire. That one ain't work. I got some fire coming. And then scroll to the phone.
So that's how it be, man. So I just didn't want to do that. So I knew my material, but thank God it was funny to people too. Yeah. And the area we performed in was pretty much people we went to high school with. So people already kind of knew me and knew rap. So it was like more of a welcoming feel.
Okay, for sure. So you started comedy 2011, you just said. So then you've been doing comedy 12 years now?
12 years, yeah.
Congratulations to you. I'm 5 years in right now. What do you think, like pretty much your high, give me a high moment in these 12 years, man, like something that you were like, just an experience, because I think there's nothing like the live feeling you get from stand-up. You know what I mean? Like, we got to post stuff on social media and things like that. But as far as comedy, you got any highs or any shows you were at where you were like, damn, this is crazy?
Probably the first time I performed at my home club, the Cleveland Improv.
Okay, wow, congratulations.
Like man. when I performed there and they got in there, it was such a surreal feeling, like being a person who was like in the audience, wishing that they just called me like, come on up here, man. Yeah. Oh, we got a comedian from Cleveland. Just come on up. Okay. Right? And just to finally getting that recognition, like, damn, like I belong. And then I probably would say another surreal moment for me was Tony Roberts was one of my, like, Tony Roberts is in my top 5.
Shout out Tony Roberts, man. He was one of the first people to put me on this stage.
Oh, really?
Man. Yeah.
Tony Roberts is like one of my favorite comedians all time, right? Yeah. And I met Tony Roberts on Twitter before he knew he was Tony Roberts. Like, he didn't realize he was Tony Roberts on Twitter. Okay. So he just accepting off people and stuff like that because Twitter was new. So
you were early on.
So I'm early tweeting him and stuff like that. He responded back to me and stuff, but I was always funny. And he like, damn, you funny. So he came to Cleveland. And I dapped him up. I'm like, what's up? And my name, B Titty, so it's already it's a memorable name. So I'm like, what's up, man? B Titty from Twitter. Like, oh, you're the funny dude. So we chopped it up and stuff like that. He come back to Cleveland and he DM me like, hey, man, I'm coming to Cleveland. I need a studio. So me and Rob plugged him in what I do with the studio. So then he come back to Cleveland. So I'm like, man, you should let me perform with you. Yeah. He didn't message me back. I ended up going to like a Kevin Hart concert. He hit me back last minute like, you want to do some time? I'm like, man, I'm at the Kevin Hart concert. So then
wait, they was in the same city? Like,
same city.
Yeah, okay.
So then maybe 2 or 3 years later, I ended up getting in the Improv. And I ended up getting booked for a show with Tony Roberts. And I performed. I got the video on my phone. And I performed. And he watched my whole set. And I got off stage. And he was like on live or FaceTime. And he was like, man, this dude funny as fuck. He's like, we followed each other on Twitter. I'd never seen him perform. Yeah. He like, this dude funny as fuck.
That's crazy.
And it was just like, I felt like I felt like I belonged at that point, like somebody that I looked up to. Yeah, and that's wild, jokes.
Bro. I opened up for him and he was here with Lance Woods, man, and that was crazy, bro. Yeah. He was a super nice dude, bro.
Super cool dude, man.
I love his joke. People having 2 jobs with the UPS man, the police.
I said him, man. Oh, dude. How long ago was this?
You got it's been going viral on the internet for probably like at least a year now. People will repost it, throw it up there.
This Tony Roberts?
Yeah. So tell me, like, what's Cleveland comedy? I've never been to Cleveland before, but what's like the comedy scene like to feel like from where y'all from? Because you see in people's comedy like where people are kind of have a representation of wherever they built their act, or maybe like wherever they came from a little bit. What's Cleveland like?
So our scene is we have two like A-B comedy rooms.
What do you mean by
comedy
that?
Clubs. Like Comedy Zone, this will be an A room, right? It's a club.
Okay.
It's people are coming to see the show.
Okay.
You know, like a C room or a D room would be like you just at a bar. They didn't even know you was gonna be performing.
Yeah, they mad you performing.
Yeah, they there for the wings. They're like, who this nigga talking? The game on, right? You perform, right? So Comedy Club is like they actually came to see the comedy show. So we got like two of those. Cleveland is a hard city. Like urban rooms is hard. Like they come out like it's almost like equivalent to Detroit. Like on the same level, like Chicago, Detroit, New York. Like it's hard. Like they come out and you gotta make them laugh.
Arms folded.
Arms folded. Yeah. Like they took bets before they came in. Bet money I don't laugh at shit tonight. Like right,
yo,
right. And
that's actually that'd be crazy, bro.
That's Cleveland. So it's
I've seen some viral content on TikTok where people go to a comedy show and the dude's whole goal is to try and keep a straight face the whole time.
Yeah, and not laugh or stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's Cleveland. And when they fuck with you, they fuck with you. If they don't, and if you take offense to it, they think they funny too. So they talk shit to you on stage. I seen a comic get booed.
Wow.
I seen the dude like, man, get his Jake ass off stage. Like in Cleveland we say Jake. Like, that's somebody like Jake can mean anything. You're corny, you're not funny.
Okay.
You a lame. This party Jake, So he's like, man, get your Jake ass off stage, man. So like
that's kind of crazy.
Dude in the front row, the headliner. This the headliner. Right, I ain't gonna say his name, but he damn near got into it. Man, get your Jake ass off stage, man. I'm trying to help you out. Your shit ain't funny. Like that's Cleveland.
Yeah,
man.
Cleveland sounds. That would be, I don't even know, bro. Duval people get crazy, but we've had some crazy heckles, but that's kind of wild.
Cleveland improv, they tough. Like that's most of the time, 80% of the time, if you ain't funny, they just ain't gonna say nothing. They just gonna look at you. So we are more of a we here to see who we here to see. So when you first get out there, like you come to Cleveland, man, you've been doing this 5 years, you're gonna start making your rounds and get to these cities. You come to Cleveland, my advice is just start off early. Because if they not there to see you, you gotta make them want to see you. You gotta be like, first joke, it gotta be funny.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
So if you're doing a joke and you just trying to set up and stuff like that, and you 5 minutes in, most of them, half of them still ordering their food.
Not even paying attention.
They ain't even paying attention. So now the other half, they waiting on that first joke. And you do that first joke and it don't hit, they be like, all right, let me get 2 shots of calm. Stuff like that. Go to the bathroom back that way. Go ahead to the car real quick and get my charge.
Dude, that's how I felt like I know I had to when I just started traveling and doing actual stuff like outside of here and like Florida and stuff like that where I started. I did chocolate sundaes, first impressions, bro, and I only had 3 minutes, so I was like, damn, I ain't no long setup for the nigga. You better get up there and
do it.
Get them to laugh when they don't know who you are and get the fuck off stage.
Yeah, but all that stuff it just adds to the experience, man. Like it adds to you got to learn these lessons. You got to learn like how to do it. You got to learn how to be funny in 5 minutes. You got to be able to be funny in 30 minutes. Then you got to be able to be funny for an hour. You know what I'm saying? That's why and a lot of people try to skip the line and just be like, just because you could talk for an hour don't mean you got an hour set. You get what I'm saying?
Like the concept and the theme, you know what I mean? It's not all the way.
It ain't developed yet. You just talking. You up there talking about what you did yesterday. Like you got to entertain. Like you watch a Benji Brown show. It's entertaining from minute 1 to minute 59.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay.
How'd that connection come about, you touring with Benji and doing these?
So as you know, Rob Ward been touring with Benji Brown for I think 6 years now. So me and Rob, like people be like, oh, that's my best friend. Like we family. That's my brother. Like when he got in the improv, he got me in the improv. Right. It was 2-3 years later, but he got me in. Right. Wow. He got the information and he came back and gave it to me. He got on tour with Benji. Rob ended up doing like the Heart of the City. He ended up doing like the Apollo. He started doing like a lot of stuff. Dry Bar.
I remember him telling me about that.
Yeah, so because he started getting more notoriety, he started getting booked for clubs. So Rob does this for full time. So he gets booked for clubs. Benji took him off, came back for Rob. And shout out to Benji. Benji saw Rob a year before and was like, hey man, when I started doing my own thing, I'm gonna come back and get you. And kept that promise.
That's real.
Like a lot of people just come to Cleveland and talk that Hollywood shit and then leave and you don't hear from them again. came back and got him. So once Rob started getting more shows, he would end up having like to cancel because he would be double booked with Benji. So he's like, his plan is like, I don't want to cancel on Benji, but I also don't want to cancel on these other clubs too, because I do this full time.
Yeah, he's trying to make a name, like he's trying to make his own name. And
so he told Benji, and Benji is all about the integrity of the show. It got to be a funny show. And me and Benji met, and he was like, "Hey man, I can't make it to a show, but I vouched for B to do it." And I did the show with Benji, and I did good, man. Did good the weekend. Me and Benji hit it off. We actually like connect mentally before like even performing good. The conversation, the vibe was right. And then Benji's just like, bro, you dope, man. Like, like it's cool. So any shows Rob can't do, I just fill in. Yeah,
well, that's fucking congratulations to you, man. Is this your first time down here at the club here?
Yeah, this is my first time down here, man.
Okay, wow.
I've been to Florida before. This is my first time in Jacksonville, but I've been like to Orlando and Miami.
Okay, oh yeah, so like
but this is my first time like doing comedy in Florida.
Yeah. Okay, I would say like this. Like we had like Orlando, Miami, and stuff like that. Their comedy scenes are definitely stronger in terms of like, you know, professional movement and like more people, more comics. But you know, we got this beautiful place here, and
this is beautiful, man.
You know, there's enough to work out. You just gotta find it. Yeah. What do you say? Like how do you think that you come up with material? Like, do you think you just you experience life, or you one of those people who you can take it something that happened and you write it down and come up with a whole story from it?
So I think my material is just life, like stuff that happens to me. Like early on, I had you know, when you first start off, it's just one-liners or it's stuff that you thought you were funny. Then you start to develop a bit, and then you start to experience more life, you know? And that's how I write. Like, I was just talking to Benji. I'm going to do this joke tonight. But I had made it a skit on Instagram, and I'm like, damn, this is funny. I should do it on stage. And he like, hell yeah. So we was just literally like 10 minutes ago laughing about this. He like, bro, that's fucking hilarious. And I'm like, that's how most of my skits come up. It's just something that happened to me. And I'd be like, I feel like people could relate to that. That's how I do my material. Like, it happened to me. And I think if you authentic like that, you could keep away from doing the same type of material. Because in comedy, and I had to learn this early, man, like sometimes you be like, man, that motherfucker stole my joke. He stole my joke. And you be thinking like somebody stole your joke, but it's really like we all coming from the same creative pool.
We just living similar lives,
so
bro.
We living similar lives. So we thinking the same thing. Now, you know, if a nigga verbatim, he's delivered. But a lot of these concepts we gonna talk. But I feel like if you're true to yourself,
you think about it differently. You'll have your own perspective.
Your own perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like, this really happened to me.
Yeah.
Like my McDonald bit. That I worked at McDonald's for 13 years. So anything, so a person could never come to me like, you stole my McDonald's joke. No, I worked at McDonald's for 13 years.
Calling it a chef, I was dying, bro. I was a hair cracker.
Yeah, bro. Like, so yeah.
Wait, you worked there for 13 years,
13 years, bro. I started when I was 15. I went to college at 18. Came back home. Like, I sound like I got out of jail. Came back home at 20.
Did a big. Came back home. Back to McDonald's.
At 20, and I worked there till I was 29.
Wow. Okay. Wait. So what was so special about this McDonald's that you just stayed there for 13?
I was complacent. I was complacent.
That's big. Oh, that's big to self-awareness.
Yeah, I was complacent. It was just at 20, it was a good job because when I had 3 years of experience, when I came back as 20. I knew how to do everything. Yeah. So I was a young manager. I was a young assistant manager. So 2021, making $50,000 a year, that's good. No kids. You know what I'm saying? I'm making $50,000 a year. Yeah. You know, at 20. 21, 22, it was good. 23, it was good. 24, it was good. 25, I had my child. I get on child support. It's not cool no more. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. 26, 25, I started doing stand-up the same year I had my daughter.
20 when you were 25?
25, yeah. Okay. So now my goals start to change. Yeah. I never thought I had a talent until I started doing stand-up. So now it's
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So you didn't think you were a talented person?
I didn't think I was a talented person.
What were you doing before? Just you were just doing hobbies really poorly?
I wasn't doing anything. I was just like, I'm a work. I don't know what. I didn't have a goal. I didn't have a purpose. I was existing. You know, I wasn't living. I was existing. Yeah. I was going to work. I went to college because that's what you're supposed to do. I got a job because that's what you're supposed to do, right? And then once I started doing comedy, I always knew I was funny, but I never thought about it until people start saying like, bro, you really need to do this. You really need to do it. When I got on stage, I became addicted. And then my goals, my perspective started to change where I was like, man, I got to do this.
Yeah.
You know, so.
How old are you?
I'm 36.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's older than what I thought you were gonna say.
Yeah. The cocoa butter. But yeah, fun fact, I never drank, I never smoked before in my life. So
really,
I think that played a big part too of me.
Really,
still looking young. Yeah, man. So
you think the minute you do something, it's just gonna all the age just gonna catch up?
I think the minute, like if I ever just touch alcohol, it's gonna be like
all of it.
It's gonna be like the mirror on the wall situation. The mirror crack, like, oh, bitch, I'm old again. Fuck. Like, yeah. So.
Oh man, what inspires you? Like what inspires you to do whatever you wake up, do this? What's the inspiration behind you keep going?
To do stand up?
Yeah,
it's a God-given talent. You know, when something is like God given,
yeah, it's
not a job. It's in you. Like you breed comedy. Like something happens, a tragedy may happen. We wired weird. We see the humor in the situation.
Yeah,
you know, and it's not
why the fuck you laughing right now?
It's not you being malicious. Yeah. It's just like that's how God wired me.
Yeah.
Like right, you might see like me and my boy. I did a podcast with my boy. He a rapper, and he was like, I might see a joke in that situation, but because he's a rapper, he might see a bar. You know?
Okay, yeah.
So I might say this might be an ink pen to me, but he see it. He like pen, PEN, the pen, like you know. So it's like depend. Pen, like you know what I'm saying?
Homonyms, is that the word for it? Is that that's the
so
shit?
You just see so many different ways to break it down. Like, you know what I'm saying? To us, we might be like, damn, how that rapper come up with that? To him, he like, that was easy. But a rapper looking at it, you like, bro, how did you think of that joke? Like, it's easy, bro. Like,
yeah.
You know, so it's just like, you don't have to, it's never a feeling like, how do you keep going? When you genuinely love doing something, it ain't about how do you keep going. It's just like, I wouldn't keep going if I wasn't doing it.
When can I do it next? Like, when can I get back?
When can I get back, man? Even though sometimes I try to remember, because sometimes like doing the business part of anything, you know, you get annoyed, you don't feel like it, but you have to always remember, like, you prayed for that. Like, right? Like, you performed here yet before?
Yeah, I'm usually here all the time.
So you hear all the time. But before you ever performed here, right? Yeah. You probably came as a fan and watched the shows and stuff, right?
Yeah, it was different. Like, I didn't know this existed when I was growing up here. Okay. I started comedy in Tallahassee. Okay. But I wanted to do professional clubs. Right. I wanted to do professional clubs.
You wanted to do professional clubs?
Yeah, and then I was like, oh, shit, it's one in my hometown.
So the first time you remember that feeling praying to get on stage, right? Yeah. So when you first get on stage, sometimes you have to still remember that feeling because you could get caught up with all the politics and stuff. Like, man, I don't feel like MCing. Like me, I moved up to a feature for like the improvs. I got on the improv roster. To feature, I had to go do an audition. I had to do a competition against other comics, and I won. They put me on a feature list.
Okay,
for like the improvs and the funny bones and stuff like that, right? So my home club was still booking me as an MC. I was the go-to MC, but then I finally got moved up to a feature, so they started letting me feature. But then one time they booked me to MC, and I was free, and I almost caught an attitude, like, man, I'm a feature.
Yeah.
But then I had to remember, like, you used to pray to be on that stage. Who are you to be like, you too good to MC?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I humbled myself, and I went and did it, and I had a great time, and I made a connect, and it was just like, you got to remember, you know, don't get what's the word I'm trying to say? Not desensitized. Is it desensitized?
Don't like normalize.
Yeah.
Don't let it become normal.
Yeah. To where you just like ungrateful. It's like, oh, remember when you was a kid and you enjoyed when it snowed and you like, well, y'all don't even see snow out here. Yeah. But now you get older and it snows.
We know what it is. We know what it is.
You know what it is. He like, snow, what's that? You talking about cocaine? But yeah, you get older, you be like, oh man, it's snowing. But remember when you was a kid, you used to love when it snowed.
That makes all the sense in the world, bro.
Yeah.
I think I'll do good for probably about 3 months, and then if nothing's happened, I'll suffer for that for like a week. I'm like, fuck, man. And but then I'll miss something. I'm like, damn, I got to get my act right. Let me get back. Let me get back to make it make sense. You know what I mean? Like I did my first time in Cali last month, bro. I had never seen anything like it, but I've been here every week. You know what I mean? And then seeing the Laugh Factory in real life and the Comedy Store, I'm like, oh my god, this is fucking crazy. Yeah. You know, but I had to like coming back here. Yeah. Then I'm like, damn. All right. Well, this is cool too. You know?
You gotta appreciate it, like, cause you wanted to be here at one point. Yeah. So yeah, like at the end of the day, a lot of this stuff be spoken mirrors too. Like I just did the Comedy Zone. The Comedy Store. The end of last year. Shout out to Nichelle Murdoch. She's actually from Cleveland, but she books for the Comedy Store.
I heard about her before, man. I tried to reach out to her when I was in LA.
Yeah, she's from Cleveland. Okay, so that's how our connection happened. She like, anytime you're in LA, just let me know. I'll put you on there. And I did the Comedy Store, and it was just surreal, man. Like Deion Cole popped up.
Yeah, was it the Crack 'em Up?
Crack 'em Up.
Okay.
Deion Cole popped up.
Crazy. I watched him at the Florida Theater.
Did his set, did his special that he doing now. He did it there just randomly. Wasn't even on the show, just popped up. Right after him, Joe Torre popped up.
Damn, yo.
So I'm just sitting there like, wow, this is LA, right?
Yeah.
It just pop up. And I remember it was like probably 10 comics on the show. And I was just like, man, just put me up. Like after 5 comics, I'm like, all right, come on. This is a sold out crowd. I want them to see me. And then like 2 more comics went. I'm like, come on, put me up. 7, the 8th comic went up. I'm like, come on. Then Deion Cole popped in, and he went up. He did 45 minutes. Yeah, and I was like, don't put me up after him. Hell no. Yeah. I gotta get some tea in my damn voice.
Yeah, man. Oh, that's kind of wild. Yeah, bro. Like the show that I was on, I did first impressions, and then after I got off stage, I'm looking at people who actually walked in to do the real part of the show. Tony Baker was on the show, man. I'm like, oh, Tony Baker's on this show, and then after Tony Baker do his set, Donnell Rollins headlined the show, bro, and I'm like, this is wild.
This is crazy.
I sat there for 5 hours.
I met Tony Baker in 2011 when I first started doing comedy. He was MCing. I think Nichelle Murdoch was his manager or something. She brought him to Cleveland, and he was just hosting. And he was hosting for another headline. I can't even remember who the headliner was, but I was just looking at the. I'm like, damn, this dude funny. Yeah, like sometimes
2011, man. Damn.
2011, I seen him. He was MCing, and I'm like, this dude funny as hell. And you be looking at other people, you like, damn, man, I ain't even there yet. Yeah, like look how he develops his material is. Yeah, and then you fast forward 10 years later, now you see him touring, and this dude blew up, and I just go back to that moment, like 6 degrees of separation. Like I was in the same room with this dude watching him, and then now he became who he became, and it's just like. What I always say I own a business, and I always tell my employees, like, just from motivational quotes that I always hear, you only lose if you quit.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what me and my homeboys texting the group chat, bro. Like everybody doing their thing. We all in separate fields of what's going on. Like one of my homeboys, he runs for the college track and winning awards, like one of the fastest niggas. Shit. And then my other homeboy, he's in like legislation now, like making laws, lobbyists and shit like that. I'm like, what the? This is kind of wild, you know? So it all comes together in a way, you know? Let's see. The show is called The Writer's Block. Do you deal with like ever like times where you can't? I mean, in your 12 years, where you felt like you actually had it, where you trying to come up with stuff?
Yeah, all the time, man. And I feel like when you try to force yourself to write is when you really have writer's block. Depending on your style, you just got to let it come to you, because you know when you got something and you know when you don't got something. When like me and Rob were just talking about this today, it's like when you get a joke. And you're like, oh, I got this joke. And then you just start like adding to it. You know that motherfucker about to be funny. Yeah. But when you got a joke and you like,
let me think of what's next.
I'm going to come back to it tomorrow. You know, it's just like, it might not be that funny. Yeah. So you're trying to force it. And then also sometimes too, man, sometimes you're not ready for that type of joke you're trying to write yet. So
like I feel like, you never forget the topic.
Yeah, you never forget the topic, but you might not be ready to write it. You might not be developed yet. Like I had a joke that I thought of 1 year into comedy. It was funny as hell, right? To me. Yeah. But every time I did it, it didn't hit.
Nobody laughed.
And then 7, 8 years later, I started getting more confidence on stage, and I went back and I was like, I'm gonna just try to joke. And it killed. And guess what I was missing? I wasn't acting out. Because when I first started doing stand-up, I was just on stage doing my jokes.
Yeah, you weren't okay. You didn't have the story.
I didn't have the stage presence.
Yeah.
I didn't have the animation. I didn't know and that just came from just working with people and learning and studying and being a student. But sometimes you're not ready for a joke yet, and you have to be able to accept that. Like, damn, it might be funny, but I don't know how to make it funny yet. So it might be a month, or you might go on tour with somebody, or you might go out of town. You're like, okay, cool. Oh, I know how to make this funny. I was missing this.
That's an interesting perspective.
Yeah, man. So sometimes it might be a writer's block, but it might be you just ain't ready to do that type of joke yet.
Yeah, but it'll come later on.
It'll come later on, man. I'm telling you so many jokes, bro. Like, and it comes when you I think it comes when you start to travel more. Because when you at home, you end up knowing how to make your home crowd laugh all the time.
Yeah.
When you go out of town, you got to see those same jokes work out of town before you really believe in yourself. Like, okay, I know how to do stand-up comedy.
Yes, I was doing, like I said, bro, I'm doing 15, 20-minute or like feature sets here. I had 3 minutes in LA. 3 minutes. So I'm like, okay, these people have no idea who I am or where I came from. And then I did Vegas the next week. And I'm just paying attention to how these things are. It was nothing like it, bro. Like I felt like it put me in I was actually writing, and I changed so many punchlines. Not changed, but like I ordered my jokes a lot better than I had them when I was doing them here very loosely. You know, going up with all the confidence in the world. Like, I know what it is. I'll figure my way through there. When I was over there, I was like, nah, let me figure out. Let me look at it, and I found so many better ways to get the punchlines closer together, you know, and then it worked, you know. So I don't know. I'm thinking about going back. Well, not even thinking about. I'm trying to go back in June. Next time. I only was there for a weekend. Okay. But I'm going back in June. I'm gonna just stay for the whole month. Try to get some shows, man.
Just do it, bro. Just keep grinding. Keep writing, man. Stay organized. Don't forget a joke. You know, I always get on Rob about that. I'm like, Rob got so many jokes, he just forget.
There's joke. What do you think about jokes that because there are jokes that I don't even tell anymore that people are like, bro, I love that joke. Why you don't do that joke anymore? You got to bring that back. What do you think about it?
Sometimes you outgrow a joke. Yeah. Where you just like, to you, you're like, I'm not even writing like that no more. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Like, I write so much better than that joke. To certain people, they just like, but I really like that joke. So you have to stay true to yourself, because if you start doing stuff that's not really how you feel, it's not going to be delivered the correct way that it's supposed to be delivered, man. So that's a big thing, man. Some jokes be really funny, but like spiritually, you just be like, man, I don't even want to do that joke no more.
I just don't care about it.
I don't care about it as much. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's not funny to me no more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got so much other stuff, right? And your joke that you probably doing over it probably ain't even as funny as it, but you feel better doing that one than doing the other.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man, that happen all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I got a lot of jokes I look at. I was like, I can't believe I was doing this.
Really?
I wrote that? Like, I look back, like that joke is... yeah, man, that happens all the time.
Yeah. Is there anything that you're working on, man? I know you're doing your feature right now. You said you're on the feature list and stuff like that. There's a lot of people who put stand up and like whatever specials or whatever, anything out on YouTube. Are you I put out clips on YouTube, but I never thought. What about you?
I rarely put out clips and stuff like that. I used to a lot of time, but more so like I do the skits a lot. You know, I'm just trying to play my hand and everything. Like, you got to adapt with the times. Like, now this is a content era where you got to create content and stuff like that. I'm not big on putting my material out just because I don't have the name that I want yet, or I don't have the following that I want. And I also feel like too, sometimes we like, you're in a comedy circle now, man. Like, you've been doing this 5 years. You're in a circle now. So you've been meeting other people. And sometimes you might think like, I'm not really in a circle, but you are. And you might put some material out, and it might be a person who's a bigger name, and they might see it and they'll take it. Like, really? I've been around headliners. I've been around people who bragged about taking newer comics material.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, like, and I
didn't think that happened in real life. Well, I didn't know.
Yeah, it happens, bro. Like, you'll do something and somebody will do it because they know, they be like, he ain't even using it right. I'm gonna do it. He don't even got a following. They would never know it came from you, because you
don't got a voice yet.
You got 2,000 followers and they got 200,000. So the first person you think they're gonna see do it first? Yeah, them or you?
Easily them.
So now when you do it, guess what? You stole it.
Now I see where you're going.
You like that joke, that's about my daddy.
Yeah, that nigga don't even know Robert.
Yeah, he don't even know Robert, right? And it's just like, so I'm very conscious of that. Not being like arrogant where I'm like, yeah, they're gonna steal my material. But
I get what you're saying though, like the integrity of it, like trying to build it up to what it could be.
Yeah. And then, because I had a situation where I was naive to me being in the comedy circle, and I got into a slight issue with a comedian that I looked up to at one point. And it was a learning experience. It's something that I regret, man. Brandon T. Jackson, I went to go see him where I was opening up for him. And I went to see him, and I felt like he was killing the improv. But to me, as a being in the game, I was like, oh man, I don't feel like this. I was hating, like, oh, I could do better than that, man.
Yeah.
And but when I was going, I was such a fan and went to see him. I'm like, this is a young comic like me. And so I'm on Facebook and Twitter tweeting about it.
About the show?
About the show.
Oh, wow.
Like bashing the show and stuff like that. And I got a show in Detroit, not even realizing he's from Detroit.
So you didn't put it all together at all.
Like, but I'm not even, I don't see myself how the world see me.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm just Brian from the east side of Cleveland, went to Glenville. But I've been doing stand-up 4 years now. Yeah. I done been in these cities and performed with people who probably in his circle that probably follow me. That's probably like, oh damn, he talking shit about Brandon T. Hey, boy, B Titty talking, saying you down there not doing good. So Brandon T, he approached Rob like, what's up with this nigga B Titty? Who is this dude B Titty?
Oh God.
Rob texts me like,
shit.
Rob texts me like, bro, what the fuck? I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, bro, I was talking shit on Twitter or Facebook. And yeah, did I end up running into him like a year later?
That's crazy.
At the Nichelle Murdoch show in Detroit. We crossed paths and stuff like that. I performed. I did good. He tore that bitch up. He tore Detroit up and stuff like that. But then at that moment, I learned it really wasn't like no beef, like we didn't fight or nothing like that. It was just like that. He asked my dude about her. He made a subliminal post about it. He said it's two Brandons. It's LA Brandon or Detroit Brandon. You pick which one you want, right? So, but I knew it was like, it was a shot at me, but I was just like, at that point I realized like, damn, you in the comedy game, bro.
Yeah.
Like you can't just talk. You can't talk as a fan anymore. You're actually in the circles. So that's why that double back to what I told you. Like you might not think that you in the circles or a person might not steal your material, but you don't know who watching.
That's crazy. All right. You know what? That's good. I never thought about myself because I meet people now. You know what I mean? But I still think of myself as like bottom of the totem pole and like nobody paying attention.
But guess what? You on the totem pole.
all right. That's a bar.
That's a bar right there. You might be at the bottom, but you on that motherfucker.
Oh man. All right. Let's see. So where are you? What are you doing next after you're here in Jacksonville? This comes out on Monday, so you're already gone by the time. Yeah. But where are you doing next?
Well, I'm back. I'm actually next week. This is vacation, but I'm back out here in Florida again next week.
Really? Where?
I'm Orlando.
All right. Hey.
Yeah. So
I was born in Orlando.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna be Orlando, Florida next week. And then after that, got a couple gigs. I got a show in Indiana. I got this theater show with Josh Adams. That's fire. Comedian out of Detroit.
Yeah. What's the biggest like a theater show? What's like the biggest room that you've been in, like crowd size?
Like 1,000 people.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, I did it 1,000 people, man. That's the biggest show. But yeah, I'm doing this theater show with Josh Adams, man. When I say dude, hilarious out of Detroit. He was actually on Hard Knocks for Detroit Lions.
Yeah, wow.
He did a comedy set. He was roasting the coaches and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So he's like a dude that's like, when I say like a dude that you look at and makes you want to write, but doesn't have a big name yet. Like Rob Ward is one of those comedians. Like I'm a fan of Rob Ward, even though we friends. I'm a fan of him. Like I watch him and be like damn, like forget the fact that that's my friend. Even if that wasn't my friend, I'd be like, this nigga funny.
That's a funny dude.
That's how Josh Adams is, you know. That's how Benji Brown. I watched Benji. It made me want to throw my whole notebook away. I'd be like, God damn, how you think of that? You know, Benji is one of those comedians. Like Benji in my top 5 too, man. Like underappreciated comedians that's just fucking hilarious. Like,
yeah. So who are you watching growing up? Like you just said top 5. Or do you want to finish the rest, or are you gonna just say who you was watching?
Like, Chris Rock was probably like a comedian that I felt like I cater my style too.
Okay.
He's more so current event, but I just like his setups and like his delivery and his, so Chris Rock was one of my favorite. Kevin Hart was the comedian that made me feel like I could do stand up, because when I seen Grown Little Man, I was like, man, he's saying shit that I thought of before. So maybe I can do this.
Like, you do have the way of thinking.
I have the way of thinking. And that Grown Little Man was like one of my favorite specials. I'm just like, this dude is fucking hilarious. And I seen him in Paper Soldiers, which was one of my favorite movies in college.
Okay.
So I'm just like, this dude do stand up. Dane Cook, Vicious Circle was like my all time favorite, like, top 5 specials.
Yeah, Dane Cook,
Vicious Circle.
Wow, he was
just
he
that
did
special. Maybe not top 5 comedian.
Yeah,
but that special when he did at Madison Square Garden was like,
he did a pop-in set at the Laugh Factory when I was there. When I was watching over.
Hilarious, man. Vicious Circle. But Chris Rock, Eddie Murphy, Tony Roberts, Benji.
Where were you watching comedy growing up? Like what?
Like
channels, shows.
Comic View.
Okay, you were Comic View watching.
Def Comedy Jam, and stuff like that. So I was introduced to that stuff. Like I remember seeing Benji, on there doing his set where he got the big powder blue jersey on.
Okay.
Like, I remember this. Like, no, I'm a historian. Like, I study this. Like, I remember seeing Benji, the big powder blue jersey on, and I remember seeing him, and like, it's still a surreal moment. Like sometimes you gotta sit back and embrace that. Like, nigga, I remember I watched you.
Yeah.
And now I'm on tour with you. I watched you.
That's crazy, bro.
That's crazy, right?
Like, yeah.
When you think about it like that, I watched you.
Yeah.
I sat in your living room before I even thought about doing stand-up comedy. I watched you on TV, and I remember your set. Right.
I remember that joke you did.
Yeah. I remember when I met Lil Duval. Like, Lil Duval popped up at a show I did. I was hosting for Carlos Miller at the Cleveland Improv, and Lil Duval was performing, and Lil Duval came and did his song "Living My Best Life."
Yeah,
just did a little set at the end of Carlos Miller set, and we all in the green room, and he chopping it up, talking to Lil Duval, just sitting in the room, and I'm just looking like, I watched you on Comic View, my nigga. I'm in the room with you. I remember you remixed the I'm surprised that you called from the way you walked away. He used to remix songs. Him and Benji used to really remix songs. They was like some of the first comedians that would like remix a whole song.
The musical aspect.
Musical aspect. I remember him doing that. And I'm just sitting there looking like, this nigga just performed Living My Best Life. And we should have known he was going to get into music, because he used to remake songs on stage.
I think that was an interesting part of comedy too. Like, because I haven't seen anything like that. Like, since, like, you know what I mean? Obviously,
Eddie Murphy's probably like the first like, comedy music.
That was unforeseen though. You know what I mean? That just kind of,
he was a rock star, so he like, I'm gonna try it. Fuck it.
Like, we're gonna figure it out.
But Lil Duval, like, that nigga got a hit.
Yeah, bro. He had hits. Yeah, now he has hits. Plenty about that. He was in everybody video, popping up everybody video.
Smile, baby.
I used to want to be a Lil Duval. Like, when I first started comedy, I used to wear like my first year. I used to just wear Jags jerseys on stage every no matter where I went.
Yeah, man, Lil Duval, a beast, man. I remember
back when we sucked. We weren't even good then. By the way, like now we're good. I was doing this when the Jaguars. We were good. We're good now. We're a fire team. We're about to win the Super Bowl next year. You know what I mean? But that
was in the playoffs last year.
Yeah. Yes, we beat the Chargers. We were in the second. We went to the second round.
Oh, okay.
We lost to the Chiefs by like what, one touchdown? I think like what, 4 points or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but where were y'all at here?
We was watching the Super Bowl with y'all.
Just wanted to ask you. I don't know if you were close. What are you a Browns fan?
I'm a diehard Browns fan.
You know?
I'm diehard.
Diehard Browns fan. Okay.
Like diehard Browns fan.
Yeah, you go to all the games. You got a Watson jersey.
I prefer to watch it at home.
You got a Watson jersey?
Nah.
No, not yet. You think he gonna do it?
I think he gonna be good, man.
Yeah,
like, he just talented. That's why you spend that type of money for a quarterback. Like,
it must have felt bad just having Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow come just dunk on y'all.
Yeah.
Every fucking
like
year.
It would be our division where it's just like
with Baker Mayfield.
We go from Big Ben to now Lamar to fucking. But Lamar up out of there. He requested a trade.
They're not trading him though.
He up out of there. He ain't playing for them no more.
We'll be all right.
We in Cleveland dancing. Right.
You still got Joe Burrow to worry about. Jamar Chase.
It's cool. People don't know that was strategic, man. Our owner got money.
Yeah.
They want us to feel bad because these other teams can't pay their quarterback. Why would the Browns do that?
All right,
we don't give a fuck about y'all not being able to pay y'all quarterback. I hope every quarterback leave their team because they can't get paid.
Yeah, that's selfish. That's selfish right there.
That's just who are y'all division?
It's like quarterback or teams.
Teams.
It's Jaguars, Colts, Titans, Texans. We had Deshaun Watson. We had to deal with the nigga for years.
Don't you wish that all three teams have to start a third backup quarterback?
they pretty much have been doing that. But they just got our old backup, Gardner Minshew. But yeah, that's the thing. Now they're saying Lamar might be going to the Colts. That I don't want to happen.
Lamar might be going who?
To the Colts. That I don't want to happen.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
But I mean, we had to deal with Peyton Manning. We had to deal with Andrew Luck. Deshaun Watson was tearing us up twice.
So remember that time you had all them when you wish that like y'all made a deal that made them other teams not be able to afford their quarterbacks, and they all had to leave your division. All you got to do is win your division to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, that is pretty true. Let's see. Is there anything that you hate before we get out of here? Is there anything that you beat today? What do you hate? What do you hate on? What do you see? You're like, I fucking hate that.
In regards to what?
Anything in the world, what irritates you?
Rude people.
People? Okay, like
no, not
rude
people,
interactions.
Rude, like just rude.
Okay,
like I'm very like, I get deep on y'all sometimes. Like I'm very like we connected. Like you could feel energy and stuff like that, right? So you could feel when somebody is sad. You could feel when somebody. So I hate when people are just like rude for no reason. Like you just rude. You disrespected somebody. Like at the end of the day, man, we all fucking connected. We all people and stuff like that. So it's just like,
you think I can rub off? I hate when people when the people come to comedy shows with that energy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I hate that, man. I just hate rudeness in just any element. Like I could be on a date, and if she's rude to the server, it's just like that rubbed me the wrong way. Like you could tell a lot. They say you could tell a lot about a person by how they treat somebody they feel can't do anything for them. Right?
Yeah.
How do you treat the person you feel can't do nothing for you? How do you treat the homeless people? How do you treat somebody that's serving you food? Right? I'm gonna be nice to Benji because he giving me a check. He got me on tour.
This is my thing though. When people bring up homeless people,
yeah, but you can go. You're not giving somebody money. It's not being mean.
Okay. I was about to say, but you can go.
Bro, I'm broke too.
Yeah.
I'm one.
A lot of people run from homeless people.
Yeah, I'm one donation away from being where you at, my nigga. So I don't got it. But it's about how you do it. You ain't got to be like, bro, get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out my face, homeless. Look at this homeless nigga, bro. He sleep on the like, damn, bro, you that heartless, motherfucker, homeless. No matter what, like, look at this crackhead.
Yeah,
and I used to be like that. Yeah,
those people crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like making fun, thinking stuff funny, but at the end of the day, you like, damn, bro, this really a person. This really somebody brother, somebody
that's kind of crazy.
Dad, somebody that's homeless. That's
the thing. A lot of stuff when you I think that might ruin comedy a little bit. Not ruin comedy, but when you think, damn, this is a person.
Yeah,
you'd be like, fuck. Now that I think this is a person, now the perspective changes.
In comedy, listen, anything is okay if it's funny.
Yes.
When it's not funny, it's like, hurtful.
Yeah. But funny is subjective. Funny is subjective. So that's the craziest thing.
You have to be.
That's the craziest thing.
You have to be respectful and things like that. So I always think like, if it happened to me, how would I feel? Right? Like me, I might think it's funny that this crackhead is doing this. But what if that was my mom and niggas was posting my mom on social media making fun of my mom being on drugs? So that's just maturity. Because when I was young, I thought shit like that was funny. Yeah, when you grow up, you like, damn, bro, that's somebody's mom. That's somebody.
Like you were saying, you're 36 now. You got a family and everything. Family,
bro.
Man. Like I see why you think.
Yeah, think perspective. Like, damn, bro, that really ain't that funny.
Yeah,
I thought it was funny.
Nah, out here, I'm 24. So
you still on the bullshit.
All of us out here who ain't got no
goddamn cup on my face. You homeless bum.
Niggas kicking kids.
Yeah, fuck out of here. Nigga can't even eat. Look at him.
Where your lunch money?
You want some of this sandwich? Yeah, that's 24.
Oh, man. Ladies and gentlemen, B Titty all the way from fucking Cleveland, man.
Appreciate y'all, man. Follow me on social media, man. It's B Titty, ITSBTIDY. My name actually spelled B Tidy on social media. I really started realizing, like, damn, I spelled my name wrong. But I don't like putting the two D's, so it's B Titty, ITSBTIDY follow me on all social media.
And make sure y'all go check out his skits, his sketches he does like that. Yeah. And you can follow me at Bobby Comedian. As always, this is the Writer's Block Podcast. Shout out to my good people here at the Comedy Zone for letting us do this, letting us tell people stories and connect, you know what I mean? I appreciate y'all for listening. This is episode 103 or 102. I forget, one of the two. But this has been another great episode, and we gone.